Hello, kindred spirits. This time I'm talking about that paranormal experience that I mentioned in my review of John Blake's book, More Than I Imagined. When John was a boy, about 8, he was sleeping in the top bunk with his brother, Pat, and he awakened one night in a cold sweat. Below him in the room, there was a figure of a man. He could see the head and torso, but there were no legs. It was like he was floating. This figure was standing in front of a dresser, rummaging around for something. And then he took 2 cards, and John was just terrified in that cold sweat. He finally he fell into a very troubled sleep. And in the morning, he woke up. The man was gone. He leapt out of bed and stopped when he noticed that there were bloody footprints on the green linoleum floor. He followed those footprints out of his bedroom onto the landing, down the stairs, and to the front porch. Very faint, very distinct. And when he got back in the house, his younger brother was at the top of the stairs, staring down at the footprints. And John asked him, "Did you see something?" Pat said yes, and they compared notes and they saw pretty much the same thing. Now, what was going on? Well, in my lexicon, this soul was there because it had unfinished business, obviously. And that unfinished business was so intense and so highly emotional that the soul did very unusual things. Usually, when people see a ghost, they see it out of the corner of our eye. It's very the image is very faint and very quick, and it goes away. This visitation was sustained. The ghost actually took something physical and left physical evidence in the form of blood. Pretty darn amazing and very unusual. The only other time I can think of when someone on the other side wanted to contact someone still in a physical body and left physical evidence was of an older woman who came to Janet because she kept finding blood in her bed. Now, she was past menopause. She checked herself. She wasn't wounded. And she finally had the blood analyzed. And it turned out that it was a very rare blood type that happened to belong to one of her grandmothers. So she knew that Granny was wanting to talk to her. So she came to Jana, and Jana agreed to do a healing circle for her. And sure enough, Granny came bursting through with all sorts of things that she wanted to say to her granddaughter. And after, of course, the healing circle, the blood did not show up again on the woman's bed because there were things that they each got to say to each other that they needed saying. And John had some more paranormal experiences with the same ghostly figure. And I'm going to talk about that because it's important. Often the so-called dead visit us or ring our bells because they have unfinished business. And it's very important to finish that business. So until next time, vaya con Dios.